Take me to work. All right, today is Monday, so heading into the office. Supposed to have a sales meeting, but it sounds like got a couple of appointments running instead, so that's fine for today. We're like mid-month. We're behind schedule on the the goal, but I know there's some big jobs out there that might save us, so we'll see. It's just like you got to just keep pounding away, and hopefully you get to where you want to go. The thing is you need that goal in front of your face, and you need the numbers in front of your face constantly, because it's a constant reminder of, okay, what are we doing? What's next? The whole plan is to hit a goal this year that you would think would be a stretch goal. And we've had some months where we were right on pace, and we've had some months where we weren't on pace. So, interestingly, if we finish strong this year, I think we could hit that goal. And that goal is a reward for the entire company. And that would be so good for people, because, everyone's working hard. Everyone's struggling a little bit right now. I don't think any of us can really be like, oh, we're going to afford a fancy vacation. But, we hit this goal, and the company's going to pay for that for everyone. And we can all go together, and it's going to be a great bonding experience and a lot of fun. But, the work has to come first. And so the one question is if we get to the point to where the year ends and we were close, what do you do? Do you set that black and white line and say, nope, we didn't hit it, so no fun vacation for everyone? Or do you kind of say, it's a stretch, we really can't afford it, but hey, let's do it, because it's going to mean a lot to everyone. So it's kind of like where I'm at. But until then, we're in the middle of August. We're going into our busiest season. Got a couple of goals for the next couple months to really pump us up. So we're going to see how it goes. And, just work hard, do what we do, keep improving the reputation of the company, keep improving the revenue growth, keep improving the bottom line, keep improving systems, just keep working on, and I think we'll get to the point where even if we don't hit that goal, the company's going to be stronger going forward, and we'll be able to do some really amazing things in the next few years. And I'm looking forward to that. Just getting things behind us, looking to the future. The future's bright, and I'm excited about it, so we'll see. Other than that, not too much going on. You watch all these gurus on YouTube, and they talk about this business and that business, and because I use Claude a lot, and I feel like I've got a good finger on the pulse of how Claude works and how to use it. I've kind of tried experimenting with some of these businesses. One of them is a spreadsheet business on Etsy for real estate investors. And about 6 weeks ago, I put up the first spreadsheet. It was kind of a general real estate. They called it the flagship product, I guess. It's got the most for like a residential real estate investor, tracking rents, expenses, and all that. And kind of the angle is it was machine checked, there's no mistakes, no errors, and it was created by a real estate investor for real estate investors. So that was up for about a month. Got very few visitors, no sales. And then I revisited it, and Claude came up with the idea, well,
why don't we put out spreadsheets for all the different, avenues? The BRRRR strategy, which is buy, renovate, refinance, rent, refinance, repeat, which I've done. And another one for Airbnb tracking, another one for different avenues. I think we did a commercial one for like commercial flex buildings. Whatever, it did like another 10. Again, machine check, no errors, blah, blah, blah. Put those listings up, and that was last week. I haven't really checked the stats. I mean, the toughest thing is there are literally products on Etsy that have 10, 11,000 reviews, like stars, they call them on Etsy, I guess. And so we're starting out fresh with nothing, and it's like, why would I buy this product when I can go to this one that has 11,000, people who liked it? And what Claude says is generally it's about 25 to 30% of the people will do reviews, I guess. And so that means that spreadsheet sold 30,000 times, So it's just tough. It's, and then there's other ones, there might be 3, 4 of them that have that many reviews. It's like, so how do you break into that? So when you see the gurus on YouTube, they're talking about, oh, how easy it is, and Claude can create this, and it's blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know if it's all that it's cracked up to be. This is the first example that I've done, and it really doesn't seem like it's going to shake out, but who knows? I told Claude my goal is to make $10,000 passive income a month. And it was like, oh, well, this is maybe 1,000 or 2,000 a month in 2 or 3 years. I'm like, okay, well, as long as I don't have to do anything for it, I guess that'll work, but I really want to get up to the bigger number. Another thing I've kind of been thinking about experimenting with is print on demand stuff, t-shirts and stuff like that. And I kind of started with, we do these pub crawls with the pizza restaurant, or we did some pub crawls, and what the goal was always was to have the people do the pub crawl and they come back and they get a t-shirt. And the t-shirt is a great incentive. We were buying them for 10 or 11 bucks though, and the one pub crawl, I think we had 300, 400 people. So kind of spendy when you're looking at the results, because okay, your business gets bumped, but it's not going to get bumped that much. So we tried to spread the t-shirt costs over all the bars that were involved in the pub crawl, but some of them were cheap and complained and blah blah blah, and they're like, oh, everyone's going back to your restaurant to get the t-shirts, blah blah blah. So we divided the t-shirts up amongst all of the people, gave them the list of the people that get the t-shirts, and it was up to them to contact them. And then like 2 of the bars don't even contact the people. And so it was kind of a nightmare because people weren't getting their shirts, and it was literally 6, 7, 8 months later, people were still like messaging us, any word on those t-shirts, blah blah blah. And so we kind of changed it for the next one, where we charged $10, and that would basically cover the t-shirt, and way less response. I mean, I think it was like 50 people or something, and it was a different occasion. So the first one we did was Halloween, and that one was crazy because everyone goes out Saturday night of Halloween. The Halloween weekend might not be on the 31st. This year it is actually on the 31st, but they go out for the holiday weekend, and then they you don't get much crowd during the day. Well, we did the pub crawl from like 2 to 5,
thinking, okay, we'll get people out during the day drinkers, people that want to party in costume, and it worked. I mean, people came out. Every bar on the pub crawl was packed. We did the pub crawl, so we saw everything that was going on. It was awesome. And that was the one with the t-shirts that got all messed up. So you would think, hey, this worked. You know, there's 5 or 6 different bars on the street that we're on. And the way our town is kind of divided up is there's 3 kind of old downtown districts. And there's Main Street, there's called Green Street, and then there's Riverside. And they're, you know, Riverside and Green Street are walkable. Main Street's a little bit further off, so you gotta Uber or drive there. But, you know, each one has their own little kind of character. They have their own bars, you know, and you can walk to several bars in each area. Green Street's the one that's been gentrified the most. They really worked on the parking. They worked on blah blah blah. There's a place down there that has bands. I think it holds a couple thousand people, so it can have bigger events and bigger bands there. And that brings a lot of people down to that area, so then the other bars get the overflow, you know, dinner before the concerts and blah blah blah. Places to go afterwards. By us, it's, you know, we're really the older part. The pizza restaurant we own started in the late 60s. And there's a couple places that are even older than us on the road. One started in the 80s. There's like an Italian restaurant that started in the 50s. There's a building that used to be the courthouse for the county that had basically got, over the years, ran down, and they added an addition onto it, and it was just a really not a nice place. So somebody bought it, they tore down that addition, gutted the whole place, and they renovated it. I mean, literally beautiful. I mean, they have a beautiful outside area, but I mean, I think they're limping along. I don't think they're making that much money, but the money they put into that building, I mean, it was an old historic building, and they kept a lot of the old historic character. It's called the courthouse now. Beautiful. Just different bars with kind of different characters. There's an American Legion that, you know, serves cheap beer, and that's kind of like a fun place to go. And there's another bar that's kind of older. There's a couple that are kind of older, and they're owned by kind of older people, so it kind of gets that kind of crowd in there. We come and go. I mean, it's tough because we really have no parking. There's 2 parking spaces in front of, near our building, and then a lot of public parking around, but, you know, it's not like you can just pull up to our entrance and go in, so, or our parking lot. So, it's kind of a tough thing. One thing they're doing is they're gentrifying our street. They're going to take it, they're extending the sidewalks, they're going to make it a one-way. They're going to make it nice, but they're doing that, and I think they start in a month or 2, and it's really gonna, I don't know what it's gonna do for our business, because people are gonna have to park even further away and walk. So we're gonna have to see. We might have to really push carry out catering and that kind of stuff, or do something to get people in. But anyways, I digress. The idea is these businesses that people tout on YouTube, and one of them is the print on demand. It's basically selling these, you know, fancy t-shirts on Etsy, and, you know, you see these people and they talk about how much revenue they're doing, and some of them even talk about how much profit they're making after they pay for the you know, the t-shirts and the printing and the shipping. And it's like, well, that looks interesting. And so our thing is like I come up with t-shirt ideas all the time for the pizza place. And I'm like, yeah, we should do that. But the problem is like you print a bunch of them and then you're sitting on a bunch of t-shirts until they sell. The print on demand is you can create this store. Somebody orders one t-shirt and then it goes to Printify and they send it out to, you know, different print places, t-shirt places. They do one-offs, make the t-shirt and then ship it. And it's like you have no inventory. Where you're losing a little bit is the cost of the shirt and the shipping. But the truth is you can have a whole store and have thousands of designs basically and no inventory. So that's kind of the beauty of the print on demand. So I'm thinking that for the pizza restaurant, if we come up with a store, put these t-shirt ideas that I have, if any sell or none sell, or maybe one becomes popular, we push it a little bit more. Maybe we print some of the popular ones and put them in the store, or have a couple, you know, to sell. I don't know. But so then my idea was to kind of expand that out, and if you could kind of get into a genre like old vintage bars or famous bars, or you know, whatever it is that you can possibly, you know, sell. But as I get into it, like there's some copywriting issues and there's some other things that go on with doing these designs that you have to be careful with. And like, I guess Etsy and a couple other of the sources, like if they see that you're violating copyrights, they can actually just shut down your store and ban you. So you're not really in charge of anything when you're on Etsy. You know, they own everything. But I just thought it was interesting. I've kind of done some preliminary things. Another thing is you can buy the decals that stick on, and buy a heat press or something, and you can make the t-shirts right on site. So then you could buy the blanks, which are the t-shirts, and then the print design, and just do it yourself, which may save some money. Initially it's going to cost more because you have to buy the shirts. You have to, you know, to get cheaper decals or whatever you call them, you have to buy in bulk, so that would cost money, and then you got to buy the machine that does the heat press. So that's another avenue that I've kind of looked at. It's just, you know, you just wonder. People are on there, and it's like Claude said, he goes, if somebody is trying to, you know, somebody offering this type of business is usually trying to sell you a course. So they're making money on their YouTube views, they're making money on any sponsorships or whatever that on the videos. They're making money selling their course, and who knows if they're really making money doing what they're talking about. So, but I'm kind of testing certain things and seeing, who knows. I mean, like my whole premise is I don't really want to be involved in the business. I don't want to deal with customers. It's just got to be some kind of automatic process. That's why I like the Etsy. That's why the t-shirts on Etsy kind of thing appeal to me. And I just keep working on those. And then I had another idea for a business. I can't remember what it was. But, you know, it's... I wish that the... you know, I was watching this video, and I'll end with this. It's kind of a lesson. The AI is great, but it's not to where the AI is like an employee or an individual. I was watching this video of this guy, and he was talking about what he was doing with AI, and he's like, agentic AI is bullshit. And I'm like, you know, it is kind of bullshit, because I've been trying to work on these loops and working on these processes, and I had Claude, literally, this thing worked probably for 12 hours on revamping and putting loops and different processes in my contracting business brain or protocol or whatever with Claude. And then coming out of it, it just seems like it really just complicated everything even more, because it like has to go through all these different steps now, because it created this whole, I want quality work, and that's the premise of what it's working under, so it takes a lot of time, but we'll see. I haven't been able to like sit down because I was working on something else, but the gist of it is AI is not to the point where you can just tell AI to go do something and it'll do it, no matter what they say on YouTube. I haven't seen it. I would guess it's getting closer, and we will get something like this in the next couple years. But in the meantime, you still have to grind with it, and you still have to work with it and prompt it, and and every project I've had, you have to read what it's doing and then ask questions or bring things up, because there's always something. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. It's like, I'm like, dude, why didn't you think of this? This is what you're supposed to do. But I guess right now we're in that cyborg stage where the human and the computer work together, their brains work together. We haven't got to the point where the computer is that much smarter than the human that it thinks of everything first and then outputs it. So just wanted to tell you that that's where we're at. But start of a new week, keep the dream alive, and let's go.